Hello friends, welcome to Bagless. How are you doing today? Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, which is learning. Now, learning is a part of a human being, whatever our age is, starting from school, college, our careers, we keep on learning. And learning is something which in the school life or a college life is associated with lots and lots of stress, lots and lots of pain, lots and lots of hours of continuous studies. Now, we at Bagless are trying to make studies fun. And when you are able to do studies with fun, it stays with you for a longer duration. Now, there are certain techniques we use across the globe to make learning easy. Some use abacus, some use various mnemonic science techniques, right? So today we'll be discussing mnemonic science techniques and we'll try to understand what mnemonic science is all about. Now, mnemonic science actually is a combination of techniques, which actually helps you learn things easily. It is sort of making things automated. So let's try and understand what mnemonic science is all about. So we always hear people talking about holistic development of a human being, of a child. Now, when you say a holistic development, you mean the development of a brain, because the brain is what makes you function. The whole body is controlled by the brain. A social life or academic life or a career of a person depends on how intelligent or how effective he is while implementing various techniques, implementing his learnings, implementing his techniques on the ground. So that is what is all about. Now, when you're understanding the brain, it is divided statistically in two halves rather. Now, one half, as you can see in the image, is sort of analytical. It's a sort of black and white. It does not have any colors. It's either black or it's white. It's either wrong or it's right. But on the other side, lots and lots of vibrant colors are seen. It's depicted by art. When you're talking about art and science, science is over here, art is over here. When you're talking about your dreams, maybe your emotions, your happiness, maybe your creativity, maybe your intuition, talking about sixth sense. So all these things are taken care of, the left side of the brain. So when you're talking about a holistic development, we are talking about the development of both the sides. It is just not one side, maybe the right side or the left side. It is about the complete or the holistic development of the entire brain, because we require logic in our life. We require to analyze the situation in front of us. We always require reasoning. We require science, because science is what makes you function, makes you grow. You talk about reality, because a person should be aware of the reality, right? So these are all important things. He needs to make strategy. So these are all important things. But when you're talking about happiness while doing all these things, when you're talking about satisfaction while doing all these things, when you ask a person, do you love what you do? When you ask a person, do you enjoy what you do? So while doing all this, if you're happy, if you wish to continue whatever you're doing, if you are imagining things of rather how to do things better, the left side of your brain is also functional. It gives you peace. Then you start loving your job. You apply creativity in whatever you do. So when you're talking about all over progress, when you're talking about leading a happy life, both the sides should be connected, both the sides should be developed, and that is where mnemonic science play a very important role. In our schools, in our colleges, the focus, or rather the delivery system, is such that all these things are taken care of. But this side is somewhat left behind. Mnemonic science techniques help you develop the left side of your brain as well. So when you're talking about a complete holistic life, complete holistic development, you talk about the development of both the sides of the brain. Now, there is a continuous flow of information. There is an exchange of information between the left half of your brain and the right half of it. It is happening as we speak. It is not that only one side of the brain will function at a given point of time. No. There is a continuous exchange of thoughts, processes, neurons run here and there, and things start happening, and the actual result is a combination of both the sides, right? So there is a continuous flow of knowledge between the two halves. Now, the two hemispheres, as we speak, are tied together by parts of nerves and fibers. Like the whole body is connected by nerves and muscle tissue. Likewise, the brain is also connected. You know, the left side and the right side are connected together. But as we see, you might have seen in your lives, some people are very, very creative. Some people are very, very realistic. Some people are very imaginative. Some people focus on the numbers and figures. The statistics matter to them a lot. So the person, how he is, depends on the kind of which side of the brain is more, dominant. Because every person has one side which is dominant. The other side is just connected and, functions as per the dominant side. So that is how the brain functions, and when you are able to connect both the sides nicely, there is harmony in the left brain and the right brain, a person does well in his life. Now, when you're talking about mnemonic science techniques in education, in learning, how does it sound when you say, how will it be if learning becomes automated? Now, nowadays everything is automated, and we're getting cars which are autonomous. They run on their own. You just have to type in the destination and you reach the destination. So how does it sound that your learning becomes automated? Sounds like a dream, right? But it is actually possible. When you apply these mnemonic science techniques, it becomes an automated process where you just go ahead, do your studies like you do in school, or maybe tuition centers, or maybe at home, and it is automatically inculcated or stored in your brain in a very, very systematic manner. Now we'll see how this thing can be done, how this magical experience can be achieved by each one of you. And there are certain techniques, there are certain principles which we'll try to understand and then apply it in our learning process on a daily basis. Now let's see how it is done. So the principle, everything has rules. Now if you go and play cricket, it has rules. If you go and play football, it has rules. If you want to drive, you have rules. If you want to fly a plane or a jet or go to the moon, there are a set of rules you need to follow. So in the same manner, if you want to apply mnemonic science techniques on studies, this is the rule which will help you actually do it. Now, magical, as it sounds, is an experience which cannot be explained by logic, because it is magical. Yeah, so you have to be a bit creative while actually learning this. So magical, the full form of magical is M for mnemonics, A for absurd thinking, then you come to G, which is great belief in whatever you're doing. Then you have I stands for imagination or visualization. Then you have C, which is for concentration. Then comes A, which is art of sleep. Yes, guys, sleep is also very, very important in whatever you do. And then the last is L, which is linkage or association. Now, let me explain them one by one. So, mnemonics is actually a brain science technique which enables you to memorize things faster, retain them in your brain for a longer period of time, and then when you try to actually recall them, maybe while writing an exam, or maybe answering while giving an interview, or maybe anything, while you try to recall, it helps you recall things in an accurate fashion. So it helps you memorize faster. It helps you to retain that information in your brain for a longer duration, and we're trying to recall it. That information is accurately recalled at that given point of time. So that is what mnemonics is. Now, second is absurd thinking. So absurd thinking is very, very interesting concept. So you might have heard that a joke you might have actually experienced this also. If somebody tells you a joke which is very, very funny, you will be able to recall that particular joke even after 5 years. Oh, I have heard that joke. You will try to recall, or it automatically will come to you that, okay, I have heard about this particular joke. So absurd thinking is a concept which says the brain registered absurd or ridiculous better than normal. If I am wearing this suit, right? This is a normal suit, a normal business suit. But if I am wearing a pink suit, or maybe an orange suit, maybe with a green tie, like the mask did, it will be a ridiculous dress, and you will be able to remember me as a person who was wearing that ridiculous kind of a dress and giving a presentation. So this is the kind of effect absurd thinking has on understanding and memorizing things. Now, great belief. See, unless and until you believe in the concept, and that goes for anything, unless and until you have a wholehearted belief on certain things, there is a possibility that you might not achieve it. Because when you believe in things, you give that 100% effort. Your brain actually starts performing in a positive manner, and your body reacts to whatever you are thinking with belief. So great belief gives you, I'll say, a push in the right direction, and it says a positive thought leads to positive results. Now, imagination and visualization. See, brain has a photographic memory. When you say an elephant, I was saying ELEPHANT, but the alphabets did not come to your mind. A huge giant elephant with a huge tusk, and two, teeth and everything, and a huge body and big ears came to your mind, right? So I was saying elephant, and your brain saw an image. So your brain works only in images. So imagination and visualization is something which is very, very important principle while learning mnemonic science techniques, because images get 20 times faster processed by your brain, 20 times better processed by your brain. Now, when you talk about concentration, anything well observed is better memorized. So if you're focusing on something, it will be received in a very systematic way by your brain, and will stay with you for a longer period of time. Art of sleep. Now, you might have seen that students, even we, while we were studying, we used to, do lots and lots of studies just before the exams. 1 month before, you keep putting in lots and lots of effort, more hours in your study, trying to study better, again and again revising things, and not maybe focusing much on sleep. The whole night before the exams, some people study. But their objective is that they will receive better marks, but then your brain gets tired. It is a well-known fact that when you sleep, body heals. The dead cells and the other, slowed down process rejuvenates. Yeah, the dead cells are rather replaced by better cells, lives and new cells. So the art of sleep is very, very important. A sound and an optimum sleep boosts learning because the brain cells also gets activated. Now, the last one is linkage or association. Association helps in a longer retention and a quick and precious recall. So precise recall is done only when things are orderly arranged. So if I say in your house, get a plate. So will you go to the kitchen or you will go to the bathroom? You will go to the kitchen because plates are arranged over there. If you say, get a jacket, you will go to your cupboard and you will not go to maybe a kitchen, right? So everything has a specific place, and when you link them, we will understand by examples later on. So how association works. If I say maybe key, you will automatically recall a lock because the key opens a lock. So things are associated there. So these are the principles of mnemonic science. Mnemonics, absurd thinking, great belief, imagination or visualization, concentration, the art of sleep, and linkage and association. And we call it magical because it thinks, it makes things very, very easy to recall, and it's almost magical in nature. Now, mnemonics, it's by example, if I try to give you, it is sort of aid to brain. Mnemonics is sort of a band-aid. Suppose you get cut, you put a band-aid. It helps you heal. The body is automatically healing on its own. But when you apply the band-aid, it actually helps you, it aids you. So mnemonics will help you as an aid to your memory. An example here is, if you might have all done this, if you put this and you try to recall which month has 31 days and which has 29 or 30 days. So you might have all done this 31-30, 31-30, 31-30. So Monday, Tuesday, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and so on. So whichever comes on the knuckle has 31 days and which does not has 30 days, taking out February, right? So this is one of the examples. Second example, very common example, is VibGyor. Now, when you're talking about VibGyor, it's very difficult to understand the colors, or rather remember the colors of a rain. But when the one word is spoken, VibGyor, it is very easy that it's violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. In a very, very systematic and sequential way, you are able to recall all the colors of a rainbow. So, as we already know, art of improving memory is mnemonics. It gives you a learning process where you are able to memorize faster, you are able to retain longer, and you are able to recall accurately. And this is going to make things very, very easy. Study will become stress-free. Children will be able to memorize and learn things, or rather their studies will be a very, very automated process. Now, how mnemonics works? So the first principle is mnemonics, and this is the technique how actually mnemonic science techniques are implemented in reality. So now this is the A, B, C, D, E of mnemonics. Very, very simple. A stands for action, B stands for big, C stands for colors, D stands for dimensions, and E stands for energy. Now, in talking about A is action. So you will be able to memorize things which are actually in motion. It is said that if so many people are standing still, you will not be able to maybe recall a person who is standing still. But if everybody is standing still and you are moving around here and there, you will be able to pinpoint that person, and you will be able to maybe recall his face, what he was wearing, and all the details, right? So action is something which is memorized by the brain very, very easily. Now, second is big. Now, whenever you are putting your effort in learning and using mnemonic science techniques, B stands for something which will play a very, very important role. Say, when you when you were a kid, you were told bedtime stories, yeah, and you will recall that story used to start like this. There was a big house, yeah. In the big house there was a big dog, right? So we are trying to give a dimension to something so that it stays with you for a longer period of time. So the bigger the size, the better the attention or the attraction of that particular thing. See, when you're talking about colors, colors are bright. Colors attract you. And when you are attracted to something, it stays with you for a longer period of time. And that is what is the whole intention. So if you are able to recall things, if you are able to retain things for a longer period of time, studies become simple. So colors create high level of interest. See, when you are driving, you are able to see the lights, 3 lights, red, orange, and green. These are indicators of the traffic signal. So if you are able to see green, orange, and red, that means it attracts you. In the whole wide world, you're driving in the red lights is something which you are able to see. Instead of so many vehicles, instead of so many distractions, you are able to see that red light. So color plays a very important part in your studies as well. Now you're talking about dimensions. Very, very big cat and very, very thin door. Yeah. So we are giving dimension to things. So if you give a dimension, visualization becomes easy. When you're trying to make a story, when you give dimension to various characters, when you're able to give dimension to various things, big house, small house, long road, short road, big car, small road, it gives a dimension to things, and a mind is able to process the information easily. And the last one is energy. When you're talking about energy, energy plays a very, very good role in actually imagining the whole thing. Energy can be felt deeply. If I say sad, you will see a sad emoji. If I say very, very fast running jeep was coming in my direction, so you'll be able to visualize that. So that is how energy is implied or rather used while using mnemonic science technique. So this is how mnemonic science technique works: A, B, C, D, and E. Now these are few examples. A for action, right? Whenever a movie starts, there is lights, camera, and action, and then only it happens. So when you're trying to implement, everything starts from here. Action should be there. Then the second one is it should be big. If I show you this image, a big dog and a very small dog, you will be able to remember this picture because there is a huge dog standing over a very small little dog, and both are looking at each other. So this is one way mnemonic science technique work. When you are implementing or rather converting things into images, big plays a very, very important part. And then colors, as I told you, all these colors will make your imagination very, very attractive and vibrant. When you talk about the D, the dimension, this gives you an example: very, very thin and very fat. So two things which are very, very distinct and can be recalled separately. and there cannot be any mixture or a mismatch in the information that you're trying to recall. So it is very clear when you are giving an information dimension, it stays in your brain in two separate columns and they cannot get mixed. And then the last one is energy. Very cool example. A couch potato and a potato which is very, very energetic, and telling the couch potato to go and start working out because this is dull and this is very, very energetic. So the difference can be seen here. Now, absurd thinking. This is the second principle about of implementing mnemonic science techniques. Magicals, right? So M stood for mnemonics. A is for absurd thinking. Now, absurd thinking is always better than regular thinking or regular way of analyzing things. Now, when he is talking about a donkey is a normal donkey. Donkey could be any donkey, but what about the donkey that you want to actually learn or retain in your brain? So if you think about a donkey which is dancing like crazy, and if I give you this image, it'll stay with you for a longer period of time. So when you are thinking, if you are thinking absurdly, you will be able to recognize and recall and retain about an information about a donkey which is absolutely dancing like crazy. So this information will be in your brain for a longer duration of time. Or you can think about a shoe. It could be any shoe. But what about a shoe which is laughing out loud and is looking like this? If you see this shoe, if you go to buy a shoe and the shoe suddenly opens up with this big teeth, you will run out of the place. Yeah, so it will be an experience you will not be able to actually forget in your whole life. So this is what absurd thinking will help you for. Now, absurd thinking will be one of our examples. Think about a tree. It could be any tree. But what about a tree which is again running like crazy? Yeah. So if this tree goes from here, you will not be able to forget this tree for a long period of time. Now, what about sun and the moon? If you're trying to remember sun and the moon, and just imagine they are fighting with each other and they look like this, fighting each other, going like crazy, right? So absurd thinking, one more example is if you're trying to imagine a ship. Ship is always sailing in an ocean or a water body. But what about a ship which is flying in the clouds? Something like this. Yeah, if the ship goes like this, you will be, I doubt that you will ever be able to forget this. Even if you try, you will not be able to forget. Now think about your favorite pizza. You eat that pizza, maybe Domino's stays with you, maybe Pizza Hut stays with you, but what about the pizza slice? If a pizza slice is crying like this, oh, don't eat me, don't eat me, will you be able to forget that pizza? No, friends. So these were just few examples of how absurd thinking helps you retain information in your brain. So this was the second principle. The third principle is great belief. Like I told you, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. So you have to have faith, you have to have belief, you have to have that positive attitude towards something. If you think, yes, you will be highly helped with these mnemonic science techniques, it will actually help you. But if you have your doubts, then the doubt will actually give you a negative push and you might not remember certain things. So if you are able to believe in these techniques, if you are able to believe in your efforts of memorizing things for a longer duration, then yes, this will be possible for you, and stress-free education will not be an impossible task for you. Now, the next principle is imagination and visualization. Now, when you're talking about imagination, like I told you, brain has a photographic memory, and an image is always there in your brain for a longer period of time. Yeah? Imagination will take you everywhere. See, if I say my house, I can actually see it. If I say a refrigerator, I can actually visualize the refrigerator which is there in my place. I can actually see what is there inside the refrigerator. But here, I'm standing over here talking to you, but I can visualize my house and the refrigerator over there. So imagination takes away all the boundaries of your thinking, and it can take you anywhere. You know, people who are highly imaginative, like Elon Musk, they are trying to go to the Mars. So your imagination will make things happen. So it is said one image is equal to 1,000 words, and your brain, this is a scientific fact, that your brain will process information 60,000 times faster than normal text. If it is in image form, it will be processed 60,000 times faster. Now, it is said that whenever you hear anything, if you're talking or rather hearing your teacher speak about something, you might remember 10% of that information. If you actually read that particular book, you will try to analyze things, you will try to remember things, but actually you will be able to retain only 20% of that information that you read. But if you are applying all your senses, if you are applying on your knowledge, if you are trying to implement things that you're trying to learn, you will be able to actually recall 80% of that information. So this is how I principle, which stands for imagination and visualization, actually help you implement the mnemonic science techniques. Now, C, the magical C. Concentration is what makes things better. If you focus on things, it will actually take out all the unwanted information, all the unwanted data that is hampering with your actual information that you're trying to focus on, the actual answer that you're trying to learn, the actual recall that you're trying to do. So if you're trying to focus on that particular thing, the other things will actually be taken out of the picture. So concentration is very important. Unless we focus, we cannot remember. Now, sleeping is very important for everyone, because like I told you earlier, sleeping helps brain to organize information. For a healthy memory, 7 to 8 hours of sleep is very, very important. And most importantly, it should be in a schedule. It's not that you can sleep anytime you want, because there should be a sleep and wake up schedule. Now, regular sleep and wake up schedule will actually make your brain work in a pattern, and brain will learn few things, organize few things, make you recall few things, and it will be a systematic process for your brain on a daily basis. So it's not haphazard, it is happening on a daily basis. So systemic hours of sleep, 7 to 8 hours, is very, very important in mnemonics. And the last one, linkage. Like I told you, if I say Tom, you will be able to recall Jerry. I don't have to tell about the other person. If I say lock, you will be able to recall the key. If I say Hakuna, you will be able to recall Matata. So linkage in images will actually help you, pull a chain, and you will be able to, if you are able to grasp the first point of the answer, the chain will take you to the last one as well. So you will be able to recall the first, the second, the third, the fourth, and all the points in a sequence through this linking principle. So it will help you in a faster and accurate recall. So that was all the principles of mnemonic science techniques. I hope you understood how mnemonic science work, what is the principle behind it, the magical principle, and what are the processes, the A, B, C, D, E processes, the 5 processes will actually help you in implementing mnemonic science in your actual practical studies. So I hope this has given you a very detailed information about how you should study, how you should prepare for your exams, how in a daily basis, if you are able to implement mnemonic science, you will never be able to actually forget. Even if you try, you will not be able to forget. So I welcome you to implement all these techniques in your studies and have a healthy learning experience. Have a great day. Bye.